What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another day of the never-ending Honda Civic project. Been a bit since I had a video. Again, I apologize for the lack of content, but I've been busy with work and other things. But in the last video, I said that I was going to be going to the ice fishing extravaganza, and I was going to try to film and this and that. And well, it was cold out. I don't know. It was below zero that day. It wasn't like super cold, but it was cold. And you know, batteries don't do good in the cold. So I didn't record a lot. I left the GoPro in the truck, but I did take a few clips through that entire Saturday. So I'm going to drop those right now and give you kind of like a brief, I don't even know. It's a very brief overview of that day. So I'm gonna drop that right now. Brad, are you catching any fish? One fish?
Pond fish.
You having a good time?
Yes.
Are you happy to be out here?
Every time.
Where are you at?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, I wish we were in Jacksonville right now, but you know, we're not. We're out here at the Brenner JC's 2023 Ice Fishing Extravaganza. Brad's got one fish down this hole. All this fancy equipment, you think he'd have more than one, but
Maybe two.
you know, full set. He doesn't even have any Happy Dad with him. You hate to see it, chat. You hate to see it.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
So that was a wild day, not gonna lie. It was pretty fun. Had a good time. I didn't catch a fish. Other people caught fish. I just had fun. And that's kind of what the whole day was about anyways, was going out and having a good time. And yeah, so that was 2 weeks ago. I worked last weekend, and now I'm finally out here. I got some parts that I said I was going to order. Finally got some vacuum tubing in here. We got our 90-degree Mishimoto boot. And down in here, we have a GoPro battery, and in this fancy box, if I can get it open, here is our fancy Chase Bays Coolant Reservoir overflow tank thing that I said I was going to try to mount right here, and I can already tell you I don't think it's going to fit right there, but I have a plan. But the goal is today to get this mounted, and then take our whatever I did with it right here, our little boot, our 90, come off the turbo, and figure out our hot side of the intercooler piping. Hopefully we can get those two things kind of knocked out, and once those are done, I mean, once those are done, we're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel here. Because basically we need a windshield, get this thing on wheels, and get it tuned, and hopefully make some power. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna start with the coolant overflow reservoir, and we'll see if we can get this thing mocked up, mounted up, and yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, so this thing, I'm not gonna lie, this thing's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I literally thought this was gonna be like half the size. I mean, this thing's a giant canister. And they give you like 5 different bracket options with this. So I came out here, I looked at this, I looked at the brackets on my phone. I'm like, okay, what do I think is going to work the best for the location I want to put this? This is what I came up with. This side basically bolts on to here. And then you've got this long slotted part to kind of give you wiggle room to move it wherever you see it working, I guess. I'm looking at this, really hoping I bought enough vacuum line, because I took a guess at 4 feet, and yeah, I'm hoping that's enough. It should be, but if not, the stuff was like 40 cents a foot, so it's whatever. I'll buy more. Not a big deal. So my original plan here was to put this down here next to the intercooler piping, but I can already see that ain't gonna work the way I wanted it to, especially with the bracket that I bought. So the next best thing I could think of is to put it in this hole right down here. The only thing I was worried about is the wheel hitting it, but I used to drop intakes, cold air intakes, and all that stuff through there, so in theory it should be fine, hopefully. I mean, I really won't know until I have slicks on this thing, and might have to address this at that time to move this somewhere else. But for now, let's get these screws put in here, our bracket mounted, and we'll see what happens. I can already see I put this on backwards, and I need a wrench. Alright, I got my wrench. We'll tighten this thing on here, and let's see how this is going to work. And well, it doesn't work the way I want it to. Dang. Oh, it's too big to fit in the hole because of where it's hard to see it. I don't know if you guys can see that at all. There, you see the bracket mount? It's hitting the frame rail, so it won't drop in the way I want it to. But what if mount it up here from the bottom? Still ain't gonna work. Not the way I want it to, anyways. Oh man, this I might have to shut the camera off here briefly, folks, and find out what we're gonna do. Unless, maybe, just maybe. Oh boy, I don't really know. All right, guys. I'm gonna shut the camera off quick and play with this a little bit so you guys don't have to just watch me do nothing. Be right back. Alright guys, so this is what I have so far. It's kind of like half through the hole. I popped 2 holes through the part of the body here, and then found these little like nut deals that I just use as spacers to mount this. I mean, it's sturdy, it's there. The only thing I don't like, I threw a wheel on quick, and it just seems like, you know, how close we are between the tire in that. I don't like the fact that the coolant hoses are right in front of the tire. It bothers me. I don't really like that. But at the same time, I really don't know where else to put it. I mean, it looks fine here. I mean, accessible. You know, if a guy needed to put coolant in it or what have you. It's accessible. It sucks. The bracket, the way the bracket I bought, it ain't gonna go down here. There's no way to make that work. So I really don't know what else to do with this right now. I think I might just leave it where it is for the time being. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, about this being here, you know, in front of the tire and whatnot. And if you have any other ideas. I mean, I thought about putting it on this side because it would work over here. There's plenty of room. The only thing I don't like is then I have to route a coolant line past all of the exhaust over to the radiator. I mean, which you could go in front of the turbo and up in here across and then come out and then right to the radiator. I mean, it's doable. I don't know, maybe that'll work better just because then I'm not right in front of the tire, I'm inside the engine bay. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should I put it over on this side where there's more room and then just route past the exhaust to the radiator? Or should I just leave it where I have it and run it? Put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Moving on from there, for the time being, I got vacuum hose to run from here to the intake manifold, so I'm going to see if I bought enough. Once I figure out where I put it. Should be it right here. And I'm going to set this camera back up. Oh, 360. No scope. Oh. Whoa! Spinning all around. Alright guys, so let's see here if we have enough. Totally got one 4 feet, and then this end is cut, so I gotta have to cut like an inch off this. Should get a discount. So hopefully this is big enough. Got my vacuum plug in. Compared sizes, I'm like, well, I think I can make this work. Oh yeah, what's going on there? I think put a clamp on it too, just make myself feel good about it. Come on, big one. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, it really doesn't want to go on this fitting because the hose is probably a little bit too small for the fitting, but it's on there. So this end I gotta cut like an inch off. Oh yeah, 4 feet was plenty. Should be. It's ain't too hot down here. I'm just gonna melt this. Let's try to go underneath this hose. Possibly, maybe not. And feel a little difficult. A lot of stuff back here. I mean, not a lot of things jam-packed into this engine bay. You know, as far as catch can lines and brake lines and grounds and all kinds of stuff. I wonder this too. It's just the tough part with wiring or running vacuum line, doing any of this stuff. It's obviously routing because you always want it to look as pretty as you can get it, but sometimes it's a little hard to do that. I gotta grab something to cut that hose with. And I'll leave a little extra just for good measure. That way it's got a little wiggle room bouncing around. Put it on that fitting on the back of the intake manifold. And we are golden. So there we've got our line coming off the coming off the blow-off valve, and then it's just routed back right over here. I don't know if you can get the lights set up here. You guys can see it. It's just coming to the back of the intake manifold right there. There's our line. And I'll get a zip tie on here, and we'll zip tie it on the, throw a zip tie on here as well, just so we know that it ain't gonna come off. They're barbed fittings, it shouldn't come off, but you can throw a zip tie on there just to make yourself feel good. So we get those on, and then we're gonna take a look at this intercooler charge piping stuff. Okay, so I've got the pipe on here and the boot on the turbo, and you can see how close they are. I mean, obviously, like, that's got to be cut off, right? But it's super close to being like spot on with where we need to be. So you can see it from down here, possibly. So like, yeah, there's the boot, there's the pipe. I mean, it's super close. Obviously, like, I'm thinking the pipe basically cut at this weld, and I might have to cut it at this weld and take like maybe like an inch. I'm thinking an inch roughly out of here to bring the pipe in, to bring the U in closer. That way there's more bumper clearance, which I know one of you in the comments on one of the last, or when I did the other side, the charge piping, said you were looking forward to this side, the hot side, to see bumper clearance. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to get this pipe like cut and welded today, just because I don't have a TIG welder to TIG this aluminum. So I'm gonna have to make the cuts, fit it, and then bring it downtown to get it welded, which it's Friday and they're probably close for the weekend. So I'm gonna try to get this figured out like tonight, tomorrow, exactly where my cuts need to be, and then I can cut it, refit it, and then hopefully next week I can get this in and get it welded up. But just for like bumper fitness purposes, I'm gonna leave the pipe where it is right now, and I'm gonna fit the bumper. I briefly just did. This bottom part doesn't need to be on here, and it's just being a pain because it has to go underneath my weight bar, and it's just being a pain. So I'm gonna grab the Dremel and I'm just gonna lob this bottom little splash guard thing off, and then I'll try to fit this bumper again so we can see pipe fitting in on the ends, and hopefully that'll help you guys if you're trying to, you know, fit intercooler piping or end up buying this same excess power intercooler piping. So let me grab the Dremel and get this bumper cut up. Alright guys, so I have the bumper on here, and left the GoPro light inside. The other one's a little overpowering, so camera might get a little funky here, but you can see that the pipe here on the driver's side is in fact touching the bumper at this moment. And this thing's like, it's on all the way up front, up top here, like I could clip all of the clips in, but if the fenders were on, getting it to a fender isn't going to work because it's hitting the pipe. Now looking at the other side here, this could be hard because there's not a lot of room. Maybe we can peek through here, or hold on, pull the tire off again. Peel off there, and then maybe we can glance in here. You can see this pipe is also hitting the bumper right here. If I were to pull this side up to get the fender or the bumper onto the fender, this pipe is going to end up hitting the bumper as well. So I'm not surprised, honestly, with the size intercooler that's on here, the piping, all of that. What probably is going to have to happen and that is if I run this bumper, which I really want to just get a 3-piece front end for this, like a drag front end. If this bumper ever stays on the car or goes on the car for some reason, until I get a 3-piece bumper, I'll probably have to do what I did on my black car back when I had that, and where the fog lights go here, cut this out, and then the charge piping fits right here, and it just protrudes through the bumper, which it doesn't look bad. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, you see, you end up, you have charge piping sticking out, and then cut this center grill out of here so your intercooler shows a little better, and this isn't blocking any airflow to your intercooler. And then it should fit, I mean, in theory. So, I mean, I'm gonna pull this back off. So looking at this pipe, I said I was gonna like try to shorten it. I don't really think I need to do that at the moment. Especially like, I don't wanna do it until I get like a 3-piece front end, because I'm probably gonna go on that route. So there's no point in doing more work than needs to be done. I should be able to just cut over here on this weld before the 90 that goes up, cut it here, and then just extend the pipe so that it goes into the turbo, and then should be good. I was also looking at the turbo. I was like, well, I don't know that, I mean, it's very close, but I don't know that the boot is completely lined up with the pipe. I was like, well, worst case scenario, I can just clock the turbo just a little bit. It's not like it's gonna have to go far, just to get the pipe perfect, and we'll be golden. So I kind of have a game plan on what I need to do. I just need to get this pipe cut, but I need to go freaking my hacksaw blade is like not doing so hot, so I get a new hacksaw blade, and then I can cut this, figure out my length, cut the others. I bought a 12-inch chunk of pipe. To extend that, I can figure out how long it needs to be, get it cut, marked up, ready to be welded, and then get that to the shop this next week, hopefully, and get that welded up so we can get this pipe on, and then the charge pipe will be done. So yeah, hopefully that bumper fitment, the little bit I did, kind of helped anybody who was wondering that. Like when I get this pipe in, like completely done and on, maybe I'll just cut out the fog light things and just throw the bumper on there just to show, what I'm talking about. So maybe that'll be in the next video. And hopefully here soon we get a glass company over here to get a windshield put in this thing. But that's pretty much all I got today, guys. Last thing I'm gonna do is I gotta measure the turbo inlet. I'm gonna order a turbo guard for it, so I gotta figure out what size I need. But that's pretty much all I got for today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, comment down below, say hi, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game